probably do that, right? Couldn't I, I'm asking, I'm now asking you guys a question. I could probably move this down, move it down some, and then have this come. Welcome back to the workbench where we try to make things. And we're continuing to try to make today is Revell's Ford FD-100 pickup, the Foose design kit that they put together a while back or put out a while back. And we're doing it quite a bit different. And if you'd like to get caught up on those differences, there's a link in the description to a playlist. Get completely caught up to where we are right now. And where we are right now is working on the chassis. Now, before we get started on the chassis, I did want to mention that this video actually has a sponsor, and it's by the join button down below. If you'd like to help out and support the channel and get yourself once a month a huge selection of 3D printed stuff, check out the join button down below. But anyways, let's look at the build itself. Let me flip it over here. We're working on the chassis, and I know it probably doesn't look like much has been done, and that's because a lot hasn't been done. The reason being is the things I did do, I did twice. So I ended up building out the back end here. Let me grab something to point with. Where's my screwdriver? Here we go. So I ended up building out the backside right here. If I know this is very small and hard to tell, but basically I had to build in this section here behind the floorboard and then add in this little bit here to close it off, close off to the cab. Yep, did that twice. So I did it the first time. Went in to try to cut this apart and broke the whole thing apart, and basically just had to completely redo it. That was after sanding it down nice and smooth and doing all kinds of things. That's why you see this one is still rough. It has not been sanded down yet and cleaned up. So that's yet to come. But yeah, I had to do that twice. And then I also started building in the tunnel here, the tunnel for the drive shaft and the tail shaft of the motor of the transmission. Did that one twice too. I did the first time I did it with some real thin styrene, and all I'm doing is just bending it by hand into a horseshoe or a tunnel shape, I guess we'll call it. Well, the first stuff was so thin that once I started gluing, I got it glued and I had it sitting there and it cracked. Like there was enough tension that it just cracked it down the middle. So I had to go to a heavier styrene or a thicker styrene, which was a little bit more difficult, but it does bend or roll better than the thin stuff. But I had to glue that in, and now it's still laid in here very rough. You can see how rough it is down the edges. This will all get cleaned up and smoothed out by time it's when it's time to paint. This will get all cleaned up and body worked. So I did remember to bring the back clip or the back clip of the truck or the chassis today. I forgot it yesterday, but I've got it today because I did want to show that. Then I did have to go and cut in notches here. In fact, let me pull this out. You can see now I have notches in here that I had to go and cut in, which was a ton of fun. So that now the rails of the back section of the chassis still line up. Well, supposedly. Let me see if I can get them in there. There we go, just like so. And so that'll get glued in. In fact, let me pull the cab out of the way and you can see what actually is part of, in fact, I'll pull this out too. This is going to be what I am calling the chassis unit, I guess, because the bed and everything is kind of all one piece. So we'll have the chassis piece, we'll have the interior tub, which is in the body right now because I have to have that in there for mounting purposes, and then we'll have the cab. So this will get glued into place. This back chassis section will get glued into place. I think I'm going to wait to glue that in until I know exactly what tabs and whatnot I need back here for the airbags, because I don't want to have to be trying to fiddle in there. I'd rather have this just out and be able to work on it, get the tabs in there, get the because basically all that's left to do for this section is a little bit of cleanup, but tabs for airbags or mount, just essentially figuring out how we're going to mount the airbags, and then tabs, which I still don't know how. In fact, let's look at it right now. Let's put our drive shaft back in. Whoops! Every time I do it upside down. There we go. We got to figure out where we're going to mount our shock. So the airbags, I don't think are going to be a big deal. They're going to go right in this section here, right in here. I might be able to come off the back There might be enough room to come off the back and maybe go to this back bar or come into the middle. I don't know. The problem is this pumpkin is off center, so there's not a lot of room on the driver's side over here. There's just not a lot of space. So once we get an airbag in there, it's going to be filling up that entire section. Now we can go outboard too. We're going to have our other links that come this way from this side, but maybe we just go outboard here, you know, to out here somewhere because we have plenty of room. I'll put this guy back in place. Let's see. Let's get you back in place and we can take a look at that. You know, we have room out here. Make sure you can see. We have some space out here that we could fit shocks in there. Because we're going to be notching this up. The floorboard will come up and over anyways. So there'll be all that space in there. I say floorboard, the floor of the bed floor bed. I don't know. The floor that goes here is going to be coming up and over the notches, which could include, and probably will include the shocks on the outside there. I think that's probably what we're going to do, but I'll have to figure that out before we finalize the rear section and then glue it in place and then mold all that in. And then I think I'm going to add some detail up here. I'm going to fine tune this up here, this shape and everything. This shape, I think I'm going to put a little more shape to it. Like I want to kind of notch this out a little bit where the A-arms are so you could have access, you know, to the A-arm. So I'll probably kind of cut it back here and cut it back here and then give some detail just so it doesn't look like just a flat piece of piece of styrene. That's what it looks like now. Just like it looks like a flat piece of plastic, and I'd like to have it have a little more detail. I also want to point out, so I've put in this, or I started the tunnel. It's going to have to go all the way forward. Where'd the cab go? It's going to have to go all the way forward to the firewall, which is, let me see if I can not get in the way and point, is here. So it's going to have to come all the way to here. But now the problem I already am having is obviously the motor has to go in here with the transmission. And as we speak right now, it does not fit. Now I could change this cross member, but that's actually not going to work. We need this transmission to sit up here. Can you see that? So it's, you know, it's hitting, hopefully you can see that it's hitting the tunnel we have so far. So basically I just need to shave it back just a little bit. And then what we'll do is come in and put a second section of tunnel that then starts heading north a little bit, heading upways. And I'll probably put it on the outside here. You can see where I've been working at it. This is, I've been kind of working in some glue and whatnot. So this is where it's going to go in. And then, you know, basically as I build these tunnels, by the way, I have the cab on because I'll just have it match right up to down. Oops, let me show you down here on the cab portion. Actually, that's the interior tub, I should say. The interior tub there, and have it match up. But it's going to kind of shave back just a little bit and then turn that way. Hopefully that makes sense to make this work. And then hopefully it will work. I might have to, because it's kind of given a hard angle on this drive shaft right now also. Now it has, I could do, this one has a joint in it here, which is something I could do, is have this one come here and put a joint in it, which would make sense. So that's something I probably will do, so to have it so that it can shoot straight. So it'll kind of come, obviously with something that's going to have that much, travel, I guess when we go full squat, we probably would want that, you know, and I can probably put, I think what I'll do, probably do that, right? I'm asking, I'm now asking you guys a question. I could probably move this down, move it down some, and then have this the shaft come into it and do like a carrier bearing, right? Have a carrier bearing there and then have it come straight this way. I don't know. Is that something you would do? Or should I just try to, I don't know. I don't want this hard angle, and it's kind of hitting on my tunnel a little bit just by the nature of how it is. I don't know. Let me know if that's something I could do. I could cut it, move it down, you know, so that this hump here, this U shape or this horseshoe, moves down to this right here, in fact, and we can use that kind of like it's a carrier bearing, and then I can run a drive shaft straight out of there, and I think that would work. I think that, and it probably would look kind of cool too, because this kind of hangs low anyways. It needs to be moved down anyways. But anyways, that's where we're at on the chassis. Let me know what you think about it so far. I did want to show one other thing real quick before you go, for those people who have stuck around this long through my rambling. I was going to show you, I was working on kind of a secret build. We'll call it a secret build. It's behind the scenes. I can't really talk about it right now. That's why I'm calling it a secret build. And I'm doing what we were calling the hero car. And I put a clear coat on it. So I got some new clear, and I'm going to show you what it is. But I just want to show you this. This is cleared with no buffing, no anything. I'm very impressed by this clear, which is just a rattle can. It's U-Pole's Expert Color, their Pro Grade Auto Paint, what are they calling it? Protective Clear Coat. It's just a 1K rattle can. It's not cheap. I think it's like 15 bucks or whatever at AutoZone. But man, I was just so surprised. I thought I was gonna have to polish the heck out of this thing. I really did. By the way, not much work done to the base coat underneath, so it wasn't exactly smooth and nice and beautiful. It was a little bit orange peely, and this just kind of floated. I'm very impressed. So I just wanted to mention that. Like, if that's check it out. I would advise. Obviously not sponsored by them or anything, but I was just very impressed, so I thought I would mention it. But anyways, let me know what you think on the chassis. Just about done, quite honestly. I think we're just about done with the chassis. It'll be ready for paint. Like I said, I'm going to get this all the way to the point for ready for paint. So I think now I need to clean this stuff up and finish the tunnel. These are what's next. Clean all this up and finish the tunnel. Figure out the mounting points back here so that I can get that glued in. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. So yeah. So what I think I want to do is have it completely finished as far as roughed in for tomorrow. And then Friday, we'll probably have cleanup. So where everything will get body worked and get to the point of ready for paint. If that's something you're interested in and want to make sure you see how this comes along, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Is there still a hype button? If there's still a hype button, hit the hype button. I don't know. Do all those things everybody tells you to do on YouTube. I got to get back at this. I got a lot of work to get done if we want to have it done by Friday. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.